Welcome to the Consultants Counsel podcast, a place for consulting industry guidance and best practice advisory. Whether you're working to grow in your consulting career, you're managing and developing a consulting firm, you're working with consultants, or you're just interested in business and high-performance advice, we've got recommendations and education for you. I'm Kelsey Creveling, founder and CEO of Kelsey Consulting, a firm focused on building high-performing organizations, teams, and individuals through a variety of ventures, including the Consultants Counsel. I've spent my career at the intersection of technology and management consulting, working with organizations across the country to help solve their toughest challenges, while also supporting the growth and development of multiple consulting firms, helping them improve their long-term performance trajectory. In addition, I'm an entrepreneur across a few different industries, and I serve as a startup investor and advisor, promoting the ideas of other entrepreneurs as they work to gain traction in their industries. With so many people gearing up to launch their own businesses and establish their own consulting practices, I want to make available the advice and lessons I've learned along the way. This podcast is made possible by Kelsey Consulting, with media support by Class Act Media. For more information, check out our site at theconsultantscounsel.com and kelsey.consulting. That's KELSC.consulting. And now, stay tuned for this episode's counseling, because the consulting world is full of nuances, and the answer is always, it depends. What's possible? Do more? Hey there, it's Kelsey Creveling with the Consultants Counsel, and I am coming to you today from vacation in one of my favorite places in the world, Park City, Utah, where I am actively practicing patience. So today's episode is all about how patience is truly a practice. It's not something that necessarily gets easier over time, but we get better at doing it and at helping ourselves throughout the process so that we can really alleviate the pain that can come with waiting, and also open ourselves up to all the possibilities that it's able to render. When we're patient, when we let the world work on our behalf, we open ourselves up to so much good that can come about. Versus when we operate from a state of frenzy or mania or needing to force and push and make things happen, oftentimes then we contribute to things happening that aren't necessarily the best for us. So let's dig into how a patience practice will really serve you well. Getting good at being patient is so hard. There are so many things in life that require us to have patience, whether it be the mundane things of just things that might be painstaking or challenging or kind of, in the immediacy of our day-to-day life, trying to just exert a bit of calm throughout our day-to-day, to the really difficult, whether it be that we're waiting on test results or a new client opportunity or a new deal or a new job or a new opportunity. Getting comfortable in the periods between doing is so difficult because those periods feel like inaction. And for people who are perfectionists, for people who are used to going and doing and pushing and creating and making things happen, being asked to take that pause, to have to wait, to have to take that time to consider and to be alone with our thoughts and to be left in wonder, it's hard. It's really difficult because we are so used to being able to affect change and to be constantly moving and doing and going. And as a result, what I typically find beneficial for these periods of the unknown, when we are actively waiting for things to materialize and to come to fruition, when we know that we have done our best, when we know that we have done all that we can to pursue a potential future outcome that we desire is to take the opportunity when possible to breathe and to exhibit and express gratitude for where we are right now. We may not yet be where we want to be. We may not yet have the answers that we're looking for. But when we're able to practice our gratitude and to be grateful for what has occurred to date in our lives, for all the lessons that we have learned from the process of living, and from the opportunity to even consider future possibilities that are exciting and worth pursuing, that gratitude makes it so much easier to really be present. When we're not constantly living in the future what ifs, it makes it much easier to be patient because our minds are not continuously ruminating upon all of those different paths that could happen. And oftentimes we find ourselves in ruts of wondering the bad outcomes, the negative outcomes, the things that likely will never even materialize. So instead, when we're able to sit in that period between doing and between action and between things taking place and be present and to be grateful, we actually get to enjoy this time, the time that we're waiting, the time that we're having to be patient. And as a result, being patient no longer has to be painful. It instead becomes a gift. It becomes a pause. It becomes a chance to catch our breath from all the constant doing that we oftentimes pursue. So this morning, I had a really interesting occurrence that further underlined, at least for me, the importance of gratitude and the fact that we get what we look for. So it is very late in the ski season right now. Not much is necessarily open in the mountains. And I personally haven't had a chance to ski this season, and skiing has been part of my life for quite a while now. I absolutely adore this sport. And I knew it was hurting my soul that I wasn't having an opportunity to ski this year. And so I had a really bad nightmare about a week ago where it was a ski nightmare and I didn't have the right equipment, the right gear. And I woke up really upset, not only from the dream, but also from the fact that I hadn't skied this season. And it just wasn't in the cards. I'm personally having to be really patient on a couple of fronts, including a financial one. And budgeting and flying and travel just wasn't necessarily a great viable option at the time. And so that nightmare, though, was very upsetting. And I said, you know what? Is there any way I can, make a ski trip happen? I have a pass. It's already paid for. What can I do? And so I quickly opened my United app, and flights are normally very expensive, not really a viable option. And for some reason, United was running a special on points, an obscenely low amount of points for me to fly direct to Salt Lake City and for the dates that I was looking for specifically. And then a good dear friend of mine had a vacant property that I am able to stay in, and everything just worked. And so I think that's just a great example of when we trust what's meant for us, it will come to fruition, and that it'll be better than you can even expect. But anyways, I'll fast forward to skiing today. Late season conditions, it is spring skiing, not much is open. But I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here, to be in this beautiful city, to be in the just absolute exquisiteness of nature, and to be getting to do what I absolutely love to do. And with one of my friends, she was able to join me this morning. And I finished the day, so happy, so great. And another woman skied up next to me. And as she was taking off her skis, she turned to me and said, "Well, that was boring." And I thought she must be being facetious, because no way could one think that skiing in general is boring. It is a gorgeous day here. The conditions were great, regardless of what was or wasn't open. And I looked at her and I just said, oh gosh, you didn't have fun today? No, it was awful. Nothing was open. And at that, I felt so tragically sad for her to have that perspective. That instead of seeing the gift that it was to be out on a mountain with next to no crowds, no lift lines, runs all to yourself, she couldn't see that gift. She couldn't see that beauty. And instead, she chose to focus on the fact that only one run was open at this time in this season, instead of the fact that the season has actually been extended by a week and this is all extra skiing that's getting to occur. And that just really sat with me. It sat with me all day. I've shared it with a few other people today as I've seen them. Just, oh my goodness, like instead of being excited and happy and grateful for the experience that was this gift today, she chose to see the negative side of it. And I think that that's just indicative of how much we are in control of what we experience. There's so much that can be going on around us, and it's what we choose to turn towards. It's what we choose to see. It's whether we choose to see the blessing in the gift and the experience and in the lesson and in the hardship and in the wait, or if we want to see the pain and the challenge and the adversity and the discomfort and displeasure. So if you're in a period of waiting, if you're having to exhibit patience, I would encourage you to spend some time, whether it be in formal meditation or just casual gratitude practice for what's going on around you. It's a really easy thing to do. As soon as you think of something that, hey, you know what? I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this weather. I'm grateful that I get to be here. Cling on to the little things, because the little things that we can be grateful for add up. And when things are dark and hard and incredibly painful and difficult, and when you're left questioning and wondering why you're being subjected to such challenges, tribulations, and adversities, know that it's all for you. It's all to help you grow into the person that you're meant to be, so that you can be a gift to others, so that you can help share your knowledge, your insights, and your lessons with those around you. So don't take the period of waiting as something that has to be painful. Instead, enjoy it as a much needed pause, an opportunity to really contemplate all the possibilities and to be grateful for all that you've experienced to date and all that's coming. So I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day and that you have an opportunity to improve your practice of patience. Cheers. And that's a wrap on this episode of the Consultants Counsel. Thank you so much for your interest and engagement. Let us know what you'd like to learn more about by writing into info@theconsultantscouncil.com. Thanks to Kelsey Consulting for sponsoring this podcast, and to Class Act Media for the media support. And with that, cheers and all my best. Have a great week. And remember, what's possible? Do more.